it's happening.
It's happening. It is definitely happening in drug delivery, in novel drugs. Solubility of drugs is an issue in the body. All
Mm,
right.
yeah.
Now, so you have to take a lot of it. If you can make it more soluble, a fairly insoluble drug more
Right.
soluble, then you can use less of it, right?
Yep.
And so the cool thing about nano, and you live this one,
Hmm.
Clint, with Evident, was that as the smaller you make a piece of material, the larger the surface to volume ratio is.
Hmm.
So at the nano scale, it's all surface,
All surface. Yeah.
and so the drug, let's say, is a lot more soluble in water because you're just acting on the surface instead of having to dissolve away, right?
Yep.
So yeah, all that stuff is happening.
That's super
Mhm.
cool. I got to get back into the whole nano stuff, man. This is neat.
By the way, I
Yeah.
remember you made what do you call it? You made dots for Christmas lights,
Yeah.
and you gave me one, and you gave me a string of lights, and I still
Hopefully
have it. I
it's
still have it.
it's
I
still
still
working.
have it. Yeah, it's still working. And I've used it in many of my talks in public, in museums and universities.
If you need more, I got a few more out in my garage, man.
I have all I need.
I had a truckload of those things. I use that as an example of a failed product in my classes because they were all tropical fruit colored Christmas lights. But
Right.
we were so excited high-fiving each other in the lab for this,
Mhm.
never before seen peach colored LED
Mhm.
that we didn't know that nobody really wanted peach colored LEDs.
There's the marketing part of it.
Exactly. There's always that
Marketing
aspect,
is
right?
important. So one of the successes of Q dots is the TVs. These
Yeah.
flat panel TVs. They're amazingly brilliant,
Yep.
and
Yep.
color is just fantastic. The other um, I wouldn't say competitor, but yeah, it is a competitor, is these OLED organic LEDs,
Mm-hmm.
and so they have different advantages over QLEDs.
Yep.
So my wife is a chemist. She's a chemist. She PhD in chemistry, and she did some early work on OLEDs.
Okay.
So she wants to buy an OLED TV, and I want to buy a QLED TV because I worked on quantum dots. So we're
You're
an
like,
impasse. I don't know what we're going to do.
wow, that is like a geeky problem, man.
Tell me about it. Most people, most people don't have this problem.
That's great. Hey, I tell you what, man, to settle the argument, why don't you buy a self-array micro LED TV?
I
Because
can't
it's
wait
like a
until a micro
combination of
LED
both.
comes in.
Yeah, it's you gotta
I'm
wait.
waiting for you. I'm waiting
You
for you.
you won't be watching any reruns for about 10 years, man. And then that's when we'll launch.
I love it.
That's funny. What do you see as what's on the horizon? So there's this big convergence with bio and nano, which is finally coming to fruition, and it's fantastic. But what's like any like extra cool stuff? Like if you were a freshman coming into an engineering school, for example, and you were like,
Mhm.
I want to do something that's impactful. Like 4 years from now, what's the market going to be? 4 years, 10 years out? Like
Mhm.
what? Using your crystal ball, what do you think is the coolest thing on the horizon?
I think miniaturization of complex electronics is going to continue.
Mm,
I think sensors are going to become more important. Biometric sensors, more biosensors that can do genomic analysis,
mhm.
do sequencing. They could sequence. Well, we sequenced the COVID-19 in just 2 weeks, right?
Oh, yeah.
That took a lot of equipment development over the years, and but we did it. We've got that at our disposal. We can make faster tests. The nano enabled uh, COVID tests, let's say.
Yep.
The materials so biomaterials is going to be important. Biocompatible materials, strong.
Mm,
Um, uh, you know, things like bone replacement or
yeah.
bone growth, organ regrowth or 3D printing of organs and stuff like that is going to continue to be really, really important. So, I think the nanobio is going to happen. I think the intersection of AI, ML, and high performance computing is going to be playing a more major role.
Mhm.
Right now, these supercomputers, the petaflop computers, um, are going to be, they're not strong enough. We need exaflop computers now, right? So, experiments are getting so sophisticated. So new ways to do computing,
Mhm.
quantum computing or neural networks and stuff like that is going to be a big push. It is a big push.
Yep.
The United States has put in a lot of money into that field, and also into AI/ML for national security reasons, for quality of life reasons, so forth and so on. So
Right.
I think somebody going in should have into school, the freshman should be worried about a breadth of things.
Mhm.
You cannot focus on one thing anymore. It has to be interdisciplinary. So the mantra is interdisciplinary. People are going to excel.
Yeah.
So software, hardware, just whatever you can do. Business
Yep.
is becoming more and more important as well. It's a global economy, as you know.
Yep.
And it's a very fragile economy, because something as small as a virus can knock it out,
Right.
as we all see.
Yep.
And so you have to be aware of the bigger picture. So have vision, think big, and go interdisciplinary. That's my advice.
I like that advice. I feel like going back to school now. The other thing I feel like I could eat bacon and drink a lot more alcohol, because they're gonna have 3D printed organs.
That's
So
right.
by the time I'd eat one. So
So I have to tell you, I was pretty wild as growing up, and
yeah.
I would do a lot of sports. I would run rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyon in a day, and do whitewater rafting, jump off cliffs, and
Yep.
ski and fall a lot.
Yep.
And so over the years, I had back injuries,
Mm.
and so I thought I was going to be crippled. Okay,
Yep.
I thought I was going to be crippled, and so what happened was I had 5 busted discs,
Oof.
5 busted discs.
5.
And there was bone on bone. So I was in pain quite a bit.
Oof.
It didn't stop me from exercising and doing crazy things, but what are you going to do?
Yep.
I only live once. And so medicine has advanced to the stage where I have now 5 titanium discs, new ones, and it's a 7 vertebrae fusion, and I got a couple of a whole lot of titanium screws in me and everything like that, and these rods that hold it all together.
Wow.
And my spine was like a corkscrew, man. It was ugly.
Wow.
And pain and all that kind of stuff, but they fixed it. And they did it with robots. Robotic surgery is an amazing thing. We're seeing that happening. It is becoming more and more pervasive. So things like knee replacements,
Yeah.
they're so standard, they're outpatient now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can go in the morning and you come out in the afternoon
Yep.
with a new knee. It's incredible.
That is nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's just going to get better. It's just going to get better. So, I don't know
That's
if they
great.
can do livers yet, but I'm waiting for that too.
I know. We're going together on one of those.
Okay. There you go.
That's great, man. Well, yeah, thanks, George. This is good. Like, this is good information for the students. I'll put your contact information down, like
Yes.
at DOE, and tell them where they can go for these nano center information and
Absolutely.
stuff like that too.
Absolutely. I'm happy to help.
Help this next generation find even more advances. Okay.
You're going to make the world, guys. The young people are going to make the world. So make it a better place.
I love it, man.
All right.